Hey everyone! It's kind of crazy for me to think the fact that I've been here in Guatemala for over a week now. It feels like much longer in some ways. It feels so much like home here already. I still miss friends and family back home, but it's been a really great experience already. This last Tuesday, I went with a group from the school at La Unión, and we went to see the ruins of San Francisco, las ruinas de San Francisco. These ruins are a current church that's in use today, but it used to be a church back during colonial time period as well. It's one of a few churches in the area that's actually connected by a series of tunnels they were connected by a series of tunnels to each other. So the nuns and the monks would walk back and forth to the different cathedrals, and that way they would stay hidden from view of the normal public. But today it's used as just a normal church meets there on a regular basis. This week I also got to have my first few classes with my maestro, my teacher. And for some reason I thought I was going to have a female teacher, and I ended up with a male teacher. But I'm totally cool with that. He's really great. His name is Rafael, and most people call him Rafa. But so far we've learned about the marketplace, we've learned a lot about grammar. Grammar is an area I'm not very strong in, but I will get better. And we've also learned about typical different types of fruits and foods in Guatemala. I'll be learning more about that next week, and hopefully I'll actually get a picture of him and get to introduce you to him a little bit. This last Saturday, so a couple days ago, my roommate Adri and I and the other girl from Canada who's living with us, we all three of us hopped on a chicken bus and we went to Aguas Calientes, hot waters, which is essentially hot springs. It's in a small town a little outside of Antigua. The town itself is called San Lorenzo de Tejar, but the hot springs are just a little outside of that. And although I was kind of expecting something maybe a little more like this, it ended up being more like a swimming pool. It was totally fine. And we had a great morning there, playing and splashing around, talking to each other, getting to know the people a little bit who were around us. It was kind of strange. We were the only white people there, but I guess I'm beginning to get more and more used to that the more time I spend here in Guatemala. So you might be wondering what a chicken bus is. I've mentioned it at least a couple times now, and I realized I never actually explained what a chicken bus actually is. So it's essentially a school bus, like you imagine a big yellow school bus from the United States. They paint it lots of bright colors, slap a bunch of stickers on it that are all in Spanish, and then the bus driver drives around and picks people up, and it's like their public transit system, sort of. People really cram onto there, though. You can get so many people, 3 per a seat. I've seen people sitting in each other's laps and standing in the aisleways on these buses. It's kind of crazy. The driver, his job is essentially just to drive, and then he has like a partner who stands just outside the door, literally sometimes hanging halfway outside of the bus or all the way outside of the bus. But his job is, as they drive along, as he calls where the bus is going to, Antigua, Antigua, and people hop on or hop off. His job is also to collect the fare for everyone who travels through there. But it's kind of crazy. Sometimes the bus will literally be driving along. He'll call out where the location is. Someone will be climbing on the bus, and the bus will be going before the passenger is fully on the bus, much less the guy who's the assistant to the driver. He's definitely not on the bus yet, and he sometimes has to run and catch up and jump on the bus while they're still driving. So it's really crazy. The buses are called chicken buses because they frequently have chickens, either dead or alive, as well as humans for their passengers. So this last Saturday, Volcán de Fuego, the volcano of fire that I mentioned last week, it erupted, which is not too much out of the ordinary. Like I said, it erupts fairly frequently. But this time it erupted more violently than it has in years. So Saturday afternoon, we were walking back to our house, cutting through the Parque Central, the park at the center of the city, and all of a sudden it starts raining or snowing, I guess, like ash. Ash is just snowing all over us. There was so much ash. here are some pictures just on the way home that I took of cars that were parked along the side of the road and how much ash is on them. I included below a link to the local newspaper's announcement that they did online about the eruption of Volcán de Fuego. It's kind of crazy to think about. Most of these pictures I took myself. See, this one right here is actually of the area and the sky towards the city that you should be able to see Volcán de Agua right now, but you can't because it looks like cloudy. It's really cloudy, but it's not actually clouds. It's a ton of volcanic ash that's filling the air right there. So here in Guatemala, the people tend to shorten their phrases a little bit to make them easier to say, just as far as common conversation goes. So if you're walking down the street, you would say buenos instead of buenos dias, or buenas instead of buenas tardes, as a greeting to someone. The most prominent one that stuck out to me so far has been porfa. Instead of saying por favor, which is please, they say porfa, which is really like shortened. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's something to do with their culture. They do that with a lot of words. So this week has been filled with a lot of really eventful things for me. Everything from swimming in a hot spring swimming pool, to riding a chicken bus for the first time, to getting snowed on with volcanic ash. This next week I'll be traveling to Guatemala City, which is the capital of Guatemala, and we'll be there for about 3 days this next weekend. And then hopefully this week we will also get to go see Santa Maria de Jesus, the little Mayan village at the foot of Volcán de Agua. But until I talk to you guys next time, have a great week, okay?